Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome. Welcome to March 1st. Wow, how did that happen? And welcome to the Medium channel where we bring you the spirituality behind the message. And for those of you that are tuning in as a video rather than a live event, I will give a couple minutes for the live people to get their notification to get on, but hang out, hang in there. We're going to start in just a moment. And today is the March psychic forecast, the psychic predictions, messages from spirit. So here's what we're doing. Let me do the rundown here. Should I do this first? Yeah. So firstly, I did some automatic writing after my readings today, and I got some beautiful messages from the master teachers, which I had to transcribe. So I have them written down. So we'll do that. We'll do a little bit of the astrology and numerology for the month. Then there's the psychic forecast. You have some predictions. I look at predictions more as point of references than absolutes. I went back to my February and it was pretty accurate, and I'm sure you guys can validate that. Not every single point came to pass, but that's the nature of prophecy, especially because that's not really my job. I'm a medium, but they do give me information. But I think more so the value of this is really understanding these energies and how they affect you and affect collective consciousness and affect the world. And then once you understand the energies, then you have a better handle on how to handle it and how to not only just handle it, but to thrive in it, to make it work to your advantage. So that's really more what that's about. So getting back to the order. So where were we? Oh yeah, psychic forecast. Messages, spiritual exercises they recommend for these energies. So you've got that, and then we have some divination cards for more messages from spirit. So let me just say a couple of hellos, and as I'm doing that, hi everybody. There's too many of you on already. No, cancel the leave. There's more. We want more people to get this information. There's never too many of you on. But anyway, the buttonist is in. Roseanne, hi Carissa. Hi Maria and Sherry and Claire and Rose and Pam and Suzette and Laura and Yvonne and Susan and Brooke and Lisa and Marissa and Chris and Michael, and that's it so far. 33 sacred number. That's what my screen says of how many live people are on right now. 33 embodies the whole 369 energies. That's why it is, some numerologists consider that the master of the master numbers, because three is three, right? 3 plus 3 is 6. 3 times 3 is 9. So you have all that numerology in the number 33, and lots of references in history and in the times of Jesus. Lots of references. So we went up to 36, but that's still in the 369 code. So we're all good. Oh, what else do I want to say? Oh, yes, big thank you. Warm hugs to Glenn Klausner, who was our guest last night, and he was fabulous, fantastic. He was also really good about sharing, with his people the event. So he was really good about promoting from his end, which I always appreciate that. And of course, for him, it works out too, because if more people are coming onto the live, and if he's inviting some of his people, then the algorithm responds to it, and then more people find it, more new people find it. So that was very smart of him. Thank you. Who else is here? And we're getting some confirmation Glenn was great. Yes, he was. And Marie is flashing the number 33, and last night was awesome. Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more. All right, so we're up over 40 people. So people are coming in. So little water. It's about 5 after. What you say? I just wanted to give you up to, or maybe we're down to 40. And I don't know. I can't keep track, but my aim for stalling just a minute is for the live people won't have to go back and watch this over as a video if they don't want to get the beginning. Hi luminaries. Hi Kimberly, and you have a darling name also. I must add. And hello Judy. Hello. And all right, let's get down to it. Let's do this. So, oh my gosh. All right. start with astrology. Now let's start with the messages, and we'll dive into the astrology part. Is going to be brief, and I'll explain why it's going to be brief in a minute. And it's not because there's a lack of astrology. This is probably the most active astrological month of the entire year, or at least one of them. And there's been a lot of conjecture. And I've talked about March. I've talked about February, March, particularly March being very transitional, very changeable. But that doesn't have to be a bad thing. So here goes the messages. So dear bringers of the light, that's you guys. According to the master teachers, you guys are the bringers of the light. We are the master teachers working with you in your awakening at this time, and since very positive changes are happening on your world at this time, we are happy to say you have lessened the degree of hardship on your world during these transitional times, thanks to souls like you who are dedicated to carrying the light. It has been necessary to, shall we say, assist on your behalf to avert large-scale destruction of your or intervene of your world as it was written in your collective soul agreement to do so, but only fractionally. You have done the rest, and we are here to bear good news at this time. Even when I transcribe this, I have a hard time reading it. You must now take even better care of yourselves. With more power comes more responsibility. Each of you is a portal for divine information, vessels of the divine, if you will. The more you can clear individually of the personal and collective woes, the more you can serve as a channel of the divine light. You must clear your energy fields of the imposed enslavement programming in your collective. Um, the more, wait, let me do this again. That just threw me for a second. Your energy field. Okay, you must clear your energy fields of the imposed enslavement programming in your collective. The more energy you can channel, the more you're going to be able to do this. There's a great shift, a very positive shift happening on your world. And if you are hearing our voice at this time, you have been chosen to be channels and activators of the light. That bears repeating. If you are hearing our voice at this time, that includes you guys that are watching this as a video, you have been chosen to be channels and activators of the light. Okay, flipping the page. There's 3 pages, by the way, of notes here. Your planet is currently being bombarded with frequency that contains encoded information for your species. Sacred knowledge, known only to your highest initiates, is now being transmitted into the collective fields to awaken your dormant codes containing the sacred knowledge and wisdom you've carried in your soul record for millennia. And now it's time to awaken and remember, as it's part of your soul's journey and part of your planetary evolution. You are the portals of this information, and as you continue to carry it and expand the frequencies more and more, you too will reach the energetic threshold to awakening the dormant codes that your species carried, universal truths that will, in this time, end your world's suffering with the renewed understanding of your collective soul's dynamic and purpose. There's no time to get stuck in earthly drama and negative programming from those seeking power over you who have, through fraudulent means, have uncovered parts of the sacred knowledge and the power around it to hold you in slavery. Clear what needs to be cleared. Our transmissions are gifts to you to assist. Page 3, to assist. Open your heart, clear your vessels, allow the higher frequencies available to channel through you and into the earth. The secret is in the water contained within the earth, for as the living, breathing earth ascends, so do all her children. You have done well. You are ready. It is time. Remember who you are, where you are from, why you are here. It is all written. No, I'm sorry. It is all within. Be fearless. Trust in the divine, especially as the energies become unfamiliar to you. Open, allow, and trust. That which created you takes care of you always. You only get hurt when you forget who you are and lose your way. Allow us to help you remember. Truly miraculous things are about to happen. It is why we have been working with your people. You are on the threshold of interdimensionality, or shall we say warp speed for the Trekkies. We are the master teachers. No, according to them, we are on the threshold of developing warp capabilities, which to me is interdimensionalism. And I do believe, and I don't know this for a fact, but I do believe that a lot of our extraterrestrial brothers and sisters use interdimensionality to to basically transport what will be like thousands, if not more light years away from us, basically. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think I love that message, and I was so grateful. Warp breathing, warp speed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So let's dive into a little astrology. Um, no need to let this live stream drag on. I'm not being paid by the hour. Okay, so anyway, these are the predictions. Oh, here we go. All right, so I'm just going to touch upon a few things, but I'm also going to link Armand Diaz's video about the astrology of March. He dives very deep into it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to let you guys, or give you the option to check him out. So Armand Diaz of Integral Astrology. So here we go. Astrology, numerology, March 2nd. That would be tomorrow. So we're jumping right into this. Venus and Jupiter conjunct at 12 degrees Aries. Just a word or two about that. When Venus and Jupiter get together, Jupiter's expansion, Venus is love. It can also be financial. So expansion of love, and it's happening at 12 degrees. Aries is a fire action sign. The 12-degree point is called the sacrifice. So it's really about finding the sense of expansion and love within, basically. This is a huge assister for assister of that which provides assistance for people who are involved in like money markets or financial, as well as romantic. So this could help get your relationship expanded to a new and a higher level. I don't have this in my notes, but I'm leaving room open to just get messages, and I just feel like they're saying, yeah, this is really the time to expand. For those of us that are in relationships, that could be relationships with ourselves too. It doesn't have to be having a partner, but whatever the case, it's one of the facets of the energies of this month, starting with this conjunction here, is basically you're expanding and growing and making your relationship a fun learning and growth experience. Also, Mercury and Saturn are going to conjunct at 29 Aquarius. 29, it reduces to 11. It's a really potent, kind of like an overcoming a lot of deep challenges kind of an energy, numerology. And it's did I say Aries? It's Aquarius. I'm sorry, in the sign of Aquarius, not Aries. And so a lot of attention is going to go to social injustices. The energy is a little bit edgy. People are likely to be a little bit taunt and not always that nice out there. So just pack a little extra patience and take that into account. Mercury's of the mind. Saturn is our lessons, our karma, our growth. And then on March 7th, we have, I think it's the last, unless, I don't know if April's full moon is also a 16-degreeer, but 16 degrees kind of keeps hacking away at the structures. That's what the number 16 does. In Chaldean symbology is the shattered citadel. Tarot symbology for key 16 is the tower card. So it keeps, chipping away so that the structure falls, so that we can build on new foundation. So Virgo is really, it's Mercury ruled. It's it's an earth sign. So a lot of that's about our mind, but it's also about our structures also. Now, same day, Saturn goes into Pisces for 2.5 years. Yeah, it's been in Aquarius, right? I hope I have that right. If not, there'll be a little correction note on the pinned comment. Saturn goes into Pisces, and it's been in an Aquarius, which is interesting because Saturn, does well in Aquarius. It gets a little bit muddled in the sign Pisces, but because Saturn, helps to teach us and helps us to grow, and Pisces is so much about our subconscious. as a collective and individually, this is the beginning of really learning a lot about our deep programming and our habits and stuff like that. So they said social injustices get addressed, addressing addictions, that would be perfect. Great period for healing and purging the subconscious. It's going to help to bring things through the light, both internally as well as out there. And that's been an ongoing theme for a while. So we get to mid-months, the Sun and Neptune conjunct in Pisces. So that brings that Pisces, that subconscious energy. We'll still be in Sun in Pisces season. Obviously, the Sun's conjuncting. Mars is going to square that conjunction, which beckons action. So, we have that Sun. Neptune is very higher mind. It's very psychic. It's very spiritual. Sometimes it's a little bit of illusion and delusion, and the Sun basically shines the light. The Sun is the giver of life, giver of light. So having that conjunction can definitely shine some of that light. I did not write down the degree points, but it's right. I think it's all right around that 29 degrees. And then Venus also. We got that already. Oh no, we did. Venus also squares Pluto, 29 Capricorn. So a lot of financial resets, changes like that. So we get to a new moon on March 21st at 0 degrees Aries. 0 is the void, spirit before manifestation. Very, very powerful energy. Aries is new beginnings. And it's also right on the world axis. So 0 degrees of the cardinal signs and 15 degrees of the fixed signs are called the world axis in astrology. According to Armand Diaz, anyway, one of my 2 or 3 go-to people. Sharita Starr, of course, is one of them also. So big turning point. And again, this is a new moon. So that's another new beginning. So this is also representing a big turning point. And I wrote this down in comic, and I don't know what's going to happen to me, but this is an exact opposition to my Sun. so I'll warn you, right around March 21st, I may not be the most pleasant person to be around. So if you want to boycott the channel for a day, I don't blame you. Just teasing. Don't do that. Just teasing. But I was born on the world axis also, which is kind of cool. 1 degree Libra. So those of you know a little bit of astrology, you know what my birthday is now. So I will expect gifts come late September. So March 23rd, Pluto will go into Aquarius. It's for a minute, and then it's going to back into Capricorn. But a minute in Pluto time is 3 months in our time. So we're just going to get a taste, basically, of what 2024 and after that. Pluto energizes. Pluto's like kind of the internal driving force. It's kind of like the magnetic core at the center of the Earth, although we know there's actually a crystal at the center of the Earth. There still is molten lava and all that stuff anyways. I think you get the idea. So a few days, Pluto goes into Aquarius. A few days, I don't know what the heck I wrote here. No, okay, so we get a life. Okay, higher ideals come into play. No, that's not a ladybug. That's an Asian beetle. They look like ladybugs. But I have a little friend on my notes. So maybe you guys can see him. A helper on my notes. Isn't that cool? A little scarab. So, and anyways, where is this? So this higher ideals come into play, tearing down the old paradigm. So that's Pluto and Aquarius, because Aquarius is very revolutionary. It's Uranus ruled. Uranus is a huge player still, very revolutionary energy. And then we'll still be in the USA Pluto return, but Pluto will never get back to the exact degrees of where Pluto was when the on July the 4th, which wasn't the actual signing of the Declaration of Independence. That happened, I believe, on August 2nd of the same year, 1776. But that's when the agreement was placed. So that's why that's taken as our birthday. In numerology, it's a number 1, a 10-month. It reduces to 1. That's very fortunate energy. Number 10 is the Wheel of Fortune, by the way. New beginnings, all that stuff. So I just wrote a few things. Stay grounded, aware, alert. In astrology, numerology is a roadmap. It's not an absolute. It's a roadmap. Just like in weather, which I'm going to talk about in a second, like El Nino and La Nina. These are roadmaps. This gives us an idea of what's going to happen climatologically. But there's a lot of other influences that'll fill in those gaps and that will provide the detail. A lot of it's what's in our heart and our mind. Like I tell people, the mind is the most powerful tool, but also the astrology and numerology gives us a roadmap of the energy. It's always better to swim with the tides than against the tide. But if you have to swim against the tide, call on the totem of the salmon, the one that swims upstream to find their breeding grounds, come heaven or high water or massive water flows. They figure their way out up there. We don't need, this is a very powerful totem that we should only use when we really need to, not to exploit it so much. But the point being is that if you understand the flows and you go with the flows, just like swimming with the current, you're going to get there faster and you'll be less tired out and less pooped out. So we got a bunch of, we'll call them, I don't know if predictions is the right word. Like in February, there's like specific predictions. And one that I made that was in my notes that never made it into the live stream. I think I talked about it on the tarot time, was the earthquake in Turkey. I totally saw that, and there's in my notes. I said the Eastern Mediterranean, but what country sits at the very east end of the Mediterranean? And never made it to my, and I had to publicly apologize for that. I was telling me, I made this prediction. I'm such a good psychic. Oh, yes. Oh, no, I didn't do that, did I? Whamp, whamp, whamp. So anyhow, so number one, I think there's 16 points. Climate pattern change. So the beginning of flooding rains into the southeast. We'll see. My weather stuff came out almost to the letter. We didn't get a nor'easter at the end of March, at the end of February, but we did get a significant snowstorm. That covered a lot of ground. So everything that I said about the climate that I know of happened, with the possible exception of Mediterranean snow. I never saw that one come up on the, anyway. We don't need to know all that. So beginning of flooding rains in southeast, I think we're seeing that. A lot of severe weather we're seeing, or early severe weather season, but it's going to back off either later this month or in April. So that might bode well for the peak of the severe season, which happens in May, the tornado season. Flooding in Mississippi River, they were saying. And so watch those snowstorms. Snowstorms turn to water. And if there's a warm spell, which there's bound to be in March, that snow turns to water and ice jams get created and flooding happens. So what was that bad year? Was it 2001? Or I don't think it's going to be quite the same as that year where just everything was like underwater for months and months on end, but something to watch out for. Could be major nor'easter around March 11th through the 15th. That seems to be climatologically favored. We've had some of our biggest nor'easters, including the 1993 superstorm and the 1997. It wasn't a blizzard, but we got 2 feet of snow in the Catskills in 9 hours. That's absolutely staggering snowfall rates. It's going on like averaging like close to 3 inches per hour. That happened also around March 14th. So they're showing that, and I was just checking my weather app, and although they're only forecasting light snow, there is an opening that may come true. It may not, not all these are going to happen, come true. So that's number one. There's more, but climate change pattern, I think we're seeing La Nina lessening, and that's going to change the whole weather patterns in the U.S. I think that's what's allowing the storm track to start to ease a little bit south, why we are getting snow, because every storm system this winter has either been a warm system or it started to snow and turned to rain. So it's already happening, I do believe, and I think it's going to go into an El Nino, which would actually be good news for the hurricane season. We'll see. That's later on. So I just saw this in my mind, so I wrote it down, and I just saw this image of like this big ice shelf collapsing, and March would be the prime month for Antarctic ice shelves to collapse, because it's the end of their summer down there. Something to watch, because if an ice shelf collapses big enough, it can send a pretty intense tidal wave through the entire world, really. So I need to know. I got this prediction many months ago. It to my knowledge, it didn't happen. So again, sometimes things show up in a different time, but I saw that. So I want to say that. Number 3 was news on, we'll say a certain pathogen Although technically I'm allowed to bring out the lab leak theory, but I think the news on bioengineering in association with that stuff. Of course, we have no opinion one way or another here, obviously, but there's something that came through psychically. So we may see that. Now, a lot of things that I say we may see in the news, we don't see in the news, but it doesn't mean it's not real. We know the news is censored. We know that there's a lot of omission. We understand that if you can control the thinking of a society, you control that society. So always keep that in mind. Yeah, and I'm going to get to that a little bit more on that a little bit later. So yeah, that and I think other stories, things that are happening with the WHO, although not specifically, but some of our former like the NSADS or whatever they are, Anthony Fauci, you have to say his name. Uh, may come under more heat. I have a feeling that he's had to kind of back off. There's a lot out there, but anyway, so that and then number 4 is in general more leaks out. That's been a process in the news. I'm wondering because I just got a flash on things of an unpleasant nature like child trafficking. And I brought that up a few times. I love children. I've worked with psychic children. This was going on in the 60s because my parents were deathly afraid of leaving me alone. And they were saying, and then we were hearing children just disappearing, never being heard from again. This is not a new thing by any means. But we'll see if what and if leaks out. I mean, I feel like, as I'm saying, Spirit saying it's on the verge, and there's enough known now. But it's going to take something to penetrate that wall of the media for it to actually be available for the general public. And they're showing concerns over either our president's health or something like that. I think since day one, there's been concerns over his health, but something more significant or substantial may show up in March with that. Number 6, wars, conflicts increase. Sorry, but just the messenger. It's been happening. A lot of it's behind the scenes. I feel like they talk about, as I'm saying that, something shocking that comes up around Russia. I think what we're going to hear is just a staggering amount of casualties in the Russian military, and things like that. So, and anyhow, so I'm not really paying attention to your comments. I apologize for that because I've got to work. But anyway, number 7, UFOs. We talked about that in February. It's interesting. Because again, that feel of something big getting ready to break. And I said that on one tarot time a few weeks ago. That day was the first report of a spy balloon, basically. And then there was all of a sudden there was tons of spy balloons. There were tons of UFOs. Some of them real, some of them fake, some of them whatever. Remember? Oh, there's a delay again. Sorry about that. If my voice and my mouth aren't matching up. Wi-Fi issues. Fun. Anyways, so point being there, what was the point? All right, I forgot the point. Oh, I think my image is caught up again. Whatever, right? Anyways, so that was all happening, but again, a lot of it is smoke screens. Understand that. The truth is in our hearts, and we know. On some level we know. So number 8, I just wrote Psyops because that's become a big buzzword. And basically, the people, psychological operatives, basically, that's Psyops. And and I've been saying for as long as this channel's been here, and before my channel came on in June 2020 and others social media, beware of. I was going to say beware of spiritual teachers. No, don't beware of spiritual teachers, but be discerning. That's the good word, because a lot of them are plants. And a lot of them know how to manipulate energy, make you feel like you're in the presence of a holy man or holy woman, or that this person's energy is just magnificent. This is why we really need to be in our heart, because then the hearts can't be programmed. And the more in our heart we are, the more we can sniff out a phony, basically. And there's a lot of that. And then there's all the political stuff, and there's all, the New Age movement, how so many of that Psyops energies infiltrated that movement, and they wanted people to look freaking crazy and undermine it all. And I've kind of been at war with them a little bit on social media. I remember one well-meaning, very well-known, well, somewhat well-known anyway, spiritual teacher, was posting a lot about chemtrails, and chemtrails are still a thing. We don't talk about them so much. And then basically she's showing something over New Jersey, these little round chemtrails. Well, they weren't chemtrails though; they were contrails. I went back. I said, "Look, what this photograph is a holding pattern over Newark Airport, and for whatever reason, atmospheric condition that usually exists much higher in the atmosphere existed lower down, so that the contrails would condense, and with that, and it's like." Like I'll tell people also when it comes to like spirits, before, if your if your light shade is rattling, before you assume it's a spirit, check to make sure your window's closed first. So it's the same thing, and then people think, ordinary contrails or chemtrails. Now, I've seen chemtrails. I know what they are. Or there's different kind. I shouldn't say I know what they are, but I witnessed them one Christmas morning, just flying in those patterns that you see, and then the whole sky getting overcast. The cloud formed, like a whole cloud formed out of that. I was like, that's a chemtrail, basically. So again, there's a lot of infiltration and a lot of false information out there. And again, infiltration of the psyops. Again, the movement to undermine the spiritual movement. That way, those in control can stay in control. So I think I've spoke on that enough. Basically, Lakeside Laura saying she sprayed the cocker. Okay, sprayed the copper over the moon. I'm missing your conversation. Let me flip the page. I've got a few more things to do. Oh, another thing they're showing me is new light information on new life under the sea. I think there's going to be a lot of discoveries of new species or new investigating things going under the sea. Now, as I'm saying that, they're showing me basically UFOs on the ocean floor and people working on the ocean floor. So maybe that's part of it, or extraterrestrials, or government agents working with extraterrestrials, doing work on the ocean floors. I mean, that just popped up in my mind. So, we probably won't hear anything about that, other than through channels and mediums. Number 10, I'm just seeing some acceleration in the artificial intelligence and the transhumanism movement. Be aware of that. You don't need that. We have spirit. We're already linked into the most powerful force in the universe. What do we need artificial intelligence? What do we need to be fix up with computers, basically? And this leads to point number 11. The elite continue to lose power, continued exposure of construction. I'm seeing a high-ranking official stepping down. I'm not sure which one yet. I didn't get anything more specific, to be honest, around that. But the elite continuing to lose their power and lose their grip, so they've had to kind of switch things up, accelerate some of the programs, and change things around a little bit. And again, the elite, that's just a word for that I use. Other people use deep state is one. We used to call it the grand plan, back in the 80s and 70s and 80s, when I was aware of these conspiracies also. And this whole period in history is part of that grand plan. It's basically to, I don't want to say enslave, but colonize might be a better word, Earth. So we live in this 3D energy, and as long as we can physically connect with extraterrestrials, part of the 3D. So there's a point for me saying that. I don't remember what the point was. All right, I'm dropping that thought, but we're talking about the elite. but in any event, we become subject to those laws, and of course the 3D subject to low and high frequencies. And the idea, it's a learning process. It's part of collective consciousness. So either we created the 3D through consciousness, or it's a computer simulation or whatever. And it's a big classroom, and part of the classroom is, or part of the teaching tool is good versus evil, dark versus light, all that stuff that exists in higher dimensional reality, maybe more the fourth dimension or the lower astral, but that exists outside of this planet. So there is a good versus evil thing happening up there also, basically. So basically, from my understanding or my belief, if you will, a lot of these deep state types, the five families, whatever you want to call it, are connected with these extraterrestrial intelligences also, or extra dimensional, or whatever it is. Again, it's like a colonization of the planet. So it's been a grand plan that's been going on for quite a few, I want to say centuries even. All right, so enough of that. 13 Sense of Lawlessness continues. We brought that up in the 2022 forecast for February. We brought that up in the February forecast. I mean, the blatant disregard for the law is just alarming, and I'll leave it at that. I mean, you can argue back on January 6th, 2 years ago. It's nothing new. I just think it's become more widespread. I'll put it that way. Number 14, new facts on mishandling of the pandemic, of resources. So I think there's a lot that's going to come up about how resources were distributed and things of that nature, whether that be manpower, whether that be dollars, whether that be medical, whether that be the acceleration of the vaccination programs, to the point where it was deemed still an experiment when they became available, but it was really, I mean, the information on that was totally available, but it was very veiled, very concealed, so the people really didn't know that. So number 15 was banking scandal around Trump family, around the Trumps. We'll see, but that just popped in. Oh, and then there's, on that note, they were just showing, images of vandalism in officials' homes and stuff like that. So that goes into the lawlessness. I think you get a pretty good idea. I think you get a pretty good picture about that. And again, I'm just kind of peeking in on some of your comments here, where I can. Yeah, I think you guys are adding some good stuff. So this is just kind of touching on a few things. Again, it's the energy. It's just like it's very changeable. It's very positive, but again, with change can come struggles, can come strife. I think the idea, okay, they're just popping this in. I feel like they're saying the whole idea of like supplies or food shortages, even though we haven't heard as much about it and things seem to be on a more even keel, it's still out there. So I think March and April, we may see a little bit of a revisiting of that for whatever reason. I mean, there's plenty of food to feed this world, probably 5 to 10 times over, or at least the resources to do so. Yet over half the world's hungry. Why? These are questions we should be asking. If we could feed everybody on the planet, why are we not doing that? Why has that not been a priority? But then again, what is a priority is funding a war. And I say this a lot, so my regulars are probably tired of me saying this, but funding a war at the onset of the war in a contractual way that basically says this is going to be a long war. And how did they know this was going to be a long war? And now, inflation is through the roof. It has a whole big cascading effect in the world and the planet. The Russia-Ukraine war did not start when they said it did. It may started in 2014, and then it kind of went underground. But again, there's all a plan. I think one of the main things with this energy is exposure. And I think we have to really, again, not to the risk of being repetitive, be in our heart center, do the heart brain coherence. In about 2 weeks, I'm going to do a detailed class on that. I'll have information shortly about that. All right, did I finish all that? So here's a few exercises for the month, and 7:41. I knew this was going to be a long one today. Make love, not war. Yeah, we'll flash this, and again, this Glenn Kidd is really Glenn Klausner. Just so you guys know, I think you know that, those that were on last night. All right, exercise from Mars. Do yoga, stretching. They want us to get more limber, because if we're limber of body, we become more limber of mind and more limber of emotion, because our mind, body, and emotion are not separate. When you have a thought, what happens? When you have a thought, you release hormones in the body. What are hormones in the body? They're emotion. The hormones affect the body. They affect the hormones. So everything's connected there. So yoga, stretching, things like that. Get flexible body, flexible mind. They were stressing that, or punctuating. That's a better word. Number 2, manifestation power. Step up law of attraction work as a spiritual exercise, and understand that learning how to manifest things consciously in your physical life is one of the most powerful spiritual lessons you will ever learn. And there's a reason we're in this physical classroom, to understand the nature of energies is expressed through physicality. Once you understand that, you can bend physical reality. You can bend matter. We can do that. So what is it you desire? And be okay without it. Law of attraction works a lot better when you have a desire, but you're okay if you don't have it, because you're so happy in the present moment and so grateful in the present moment. You become a vibrational match to any good in the universe, basically. So they're saying, and there's other reasons. I didn't even talk about the fact that March is the spring equinox also. That's another really important factor, where we shift from the dark season into the light season. So number 3, initiate something new practice, new routine. This is important. Whatever it is, if you have a daily spiritual routine, this is the month, either add or take something away. Learn something new, try a new practice. I am thinking maybe doing some Qigong lessons or something like that is one of my, but initiate something new. That said. Number 4 was step up the shadow work until the equinox. So while we still have this beautiful Piscean energy, the subconscious, and the sun in Pisces, the sun shines the light. What happens when you shine a light on a shadow? The shadow disappears. It becomes assimilated into the light. So stepping up the shadow work. We got videos on all the stuff, by the way. I'm not going to link every single one to the comments, but I'll link 1 or 2 short ones. Number 5, they're saying do a ceremony for the spring equinox as we step into the light. Maybe burn what you don't want anymore. Like, in other words, what don't I want anymore? Write it down, and then put it in the fire and burn it. Basically, in the spring equinox, that's the balancing point. So we were in the dark season, which is more into the hidden or subconscious. This is more, again, about our developing our inner selves. And then in the light season, there's more of a tendency to be more developing things in the outer portions of our life. Now, it's not black and white, it's interchangeable, but that's the general thing of that. So that leads me into the number 6, is coming out of hibernation. So that's basically what we're doing, coming out of a spiritual hibernation now. The idea is to digest your lessons. So, again, maybe do some hard expansions of shadow work. And just, again, we have to be okay with things. We have to be in a place where we can accept discomfort and pain as an inevitable part of living. And we can reframe that in our minds, so that pain and discomfort are no longer a negative thing. It's just part of a process, basically. I'll tell you, changing my relationship with pain has been one of the most valuable spiritual lessons that I've learned in my lifetime. Because now I'm better equipped to deal with those tough aspects of things, and that's, I think, a big reason why I healed from more than one incurable disease that I had my whole life. So anyways, So that was that. Number 7. Also, saying also during or around the equinox, and this is a very specific exercise. Do chakra work, chakra healing. Now, the way they want us to do this is as you go through the chakras, and if you want to be more in the traditional yogic and Vedic trend on that, there's 7 major chakras. You can work with the 12 chakra system if you want and you understand that. But often we work from the root up. Sometimes I change that in my own work. But the idea is, go individually and place a sun in each chakra. So in other words, feel the energy of the sun, visualize the sun if you're visual. If not, feel the energy of the sun and place it in your root chakra. And then breathe into your root. Imagine the sun is shining, clearing any dark, any obstructing energies, any dark energies. And with that, what is your root chakra saying? Then go to your sacral, go to your solar plexus. They're giving me a second way of doing this, so I'll tell you that in a second. Then your heart, throat, third eye, and crown chakra. Saying another way you can do this is light up all 7 chakras at the same time, and then feel that building and feeling your aura building into an even greater sun that clears your entire aura. So you can experiment with that, but especially as we get past the 7th of March, because between the 7th of March and roughly the 5th or 6th or so of April, or no, I'm getting those dates confused. No, that's right. That's really the equinox season, but because the diurnal shift is so rapid during the equinoxes, that even a week after the equinox, you notice significantly more light at night. You notice the sun significantly higher even after 1 week. So changes are happening. I wanted to do a couple of divination cards before we end. Sorry that I'm missing your comments, but on these type events, I wanted to really get the information out more than anything. In tarot time and other events, I get a little bit more chatty with the comments and flash more of your comments. So it's interesting. I just happened to see this from Lakeside Laura. So yeah, we're coming to eclipse season in April. So April's going to be another intense month. But this could be really the heart of the shift. We've been building and building and building for years now. I think this really is the turning point energy. And again, stay in your heart, stay grounded. That's important also. The more you can breathe in the heart, the more you can feel the gratitude, appreciation, love expanding through your heart and activating the brain, the better you're going to be able to flow with these changes, and you'll be there to help people. Okay, we don't have to keep your birthday up there indefinitely, Lakeside Laura. All right, so this one is called Divine Abundance cards. These are my new decks that I have. So we have a full moon coming up soon too. I don't know what day. It might be Saturday or Sunday, but we're going to do a full moon forecast also, like we always do. Let me clear my mind and ask Spirit to guide me to the right card. I found it. I like this. Extraordinaries. This is the Divine Abundance card. So your personal message may be in this image. So however the image makes you feel, or whatever you've seen in this image, may be a personal message for you. And the written message here is, there's a wild and impetuous uniqueness to you that deserves to be honored. Oh, and it's a big peacock feather also. Don't hide your light. It's okay to be in balance, to be a little bit showy. I mean, I am, so it's okay for you guys to be that way also. It's better than hiding yourself. Like Marianne Williamson quoted as saying, or I'll paraphrase it, it's not being powerless that you fear, it's being powerful beyond measure. And the reason is, the more power, the more responsibility, the more you're under scrutiny of other people. And we really can't give a crap about what other people think about us, especially on a personal level. I mean, on a professional level, it matters what your boss thinks about you. I get that but in a way, I feel like Spirit's saying yes and no. In a way, if you don't even care about that, then you're more in your power to express yourself. And so they're kind of giving me this whole thing like, and then if your boss can't handle it, you probably find another job anyway. Yeah, okay, I get it. Easier said than done. But anyway, be extraordinary. You are extraordinary. It's about time for you guys to know that, and for you guys to let the world know that also. And the more that you come off as being extraordinary, the more people are going to follow your lead and listen to you. So we have to lead by example also. There's nothing that I teach or that I say that I don't do myself, or I'm not willing to do myself. And I think that one important facet that separates different leaders or teachers, in my opinion anyway. So that's what the card looks like. If you guys get another message in there, that's good. The propensity for the color purple, is part of it, and blue, this higher mind thing. So anyways, let me do the other one is the Starseed Oracle deck. So since we're all starseeds, so let me few cards from there and just dividing it. Okay. These cards do not want to fan out. All right. Let me clear my mind a second. Finding my card. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put these down here. Okay. We'll take a commercial break. No, we won't. Just kidding. All right. Now I feel like I'm tuning in. Found my card. Yes. I can freaking my goodness. Okay. What did we get here? Deep cellular healing. The sun can do that, by the way. Do that chakra meditation. That sun's going to offer you deep cellular healing. And you're part of like the transmission work, with the master teachers, and part of what they were saying is that this transmission, this energy can clear a lot of stuff that's stuck in your cells, that's stuck in your atoms. And within your cells is the DNA, the light portals, those portals of knowledge and information, that we have within us, waiting to be activated once we reach the energetic threshold to do that, exists within the cells. And if we're able to do deep cellular healing and clearing, because a lot of our traumas get stuck in our cells, they get literally stuck there on an energetic and a semi-physical level. So Arcturus energy, and we work a lot with the Arcturians here, physical and emotional healing. And I work with the master teachers, but a couple of people have come forward and listening to me doing light language and telling me I'm doing Arcturian light language and something else. That's what the young lady we had recently, Christina Day, said that. She said, there's Arcturian, but there's something else, she said, when you're doing it. I don't know what that something else is yet. And yeah, thank you. So anyways, maybe this is an unscheduled commercial, but Patreon, that's where we share a lot of our inner teaching. We share a lot here on YouTube, all for free. Patreon's $5 a month. We do a lot of the inner channeling, the deeper channeling work, amongst other things there. By the way, this month, starting today, is third eye month, third eye chakra month. So we can call on the Arcturians, but I feel like they're working with us. All we have to do is open our fields, open our heart, when we open our hearts, we open our mind, we open our portal to spirit by doing that. Invite, relax, and allow. That's all we need to do. It's our programming that compromises that, but the more you practice it, the more that programming will either fade away or completely be purged, and then you'll feel that. And as I'm talking, I mean the master teacher are here, because I'm actually feeling the frequencies as I'm talking about it. So perhaps next week on Spear Mind Family, we'll do it like a cellular clearing regeneration, transmission. That'll be a week from today, unless I have another event scheduled, and I'll give you guys the dates and around that. All right. Anyways, that's what I have for you guys. I actually remembered this. I usually forget. If you guys want to hit the thumbs up, I mean, if you like the video, be authentic. But if you like this, you hit the thumbs up, because sometimes that can trigger the algorithm to let YouTube know people are enjoying this, and then they share it with more people. Oh, by the way, thank you from the bottom of my heart, all of you. We just yesterday hit 5,000 subscribers here on the Medium channel. It's just the beginning. It's just the very beginning. The best is still yet to come. So I've got a couple new ideas cooking that I'm going to unveil maybe later this month, maybe in April. But thank you, everybody. So I'm setting the intention by our third anniversary to hit 10,000, which would be June 21st. So it's doable. We'll see. Only need 5,000 more, and that's all. No problem. No problem. Yeah. I mean, it's a little not what's the right word? Not misleading. Because still 5,000 subscribers is still a small channel on YouTube, and it's really getting the viewership up to me is more of a would be more of a accomplishment than the actual subscriber count, because it would mean more of my subscribers actually enjoying my videos and wanting to watch more of them. But you guys do. That's all that matters right now. So thank you again, everybody. Thank you. I love you. Well, we have Tarot Time Sunday, of course. We have I forgot what the video is about tomorrow. Well, it's something to be helpful for starseeds and empaths. So we have that coming out tomorrow. I think it's actually part 2 of the empath and starseed survival training course. So anyway, I know dramatic title, but helping you guys. Helping you guys is the name of the game. So anyway, love you. See you next time. Be well.